everyone, it's JoJo from Mojo Jojo Plans, and today I'm going to be showing you how I print my pictures from Costco and how I get them in a size to fit my memory planner. So this is the big Happy. This one is just a normal Happy Planner big. It's not one of the memory keepers right now. I do have some, but I'm not using them, but these are the exact same thing as if I were to use that. So I print my pictures so that way I can use my circle punch that I have to get them to fit here, and then I print my pictures in a way so that way they can fit in these boxes. So I'm going to show you how I do that with the app that I use. So I'm sorry it's going to be kind of small because I had to record it on my phone, but hopefully you get the gist. I use the app Photogrid. I've been using it since I started memory planning, which this is, I think I'm going on my third full year of memory planning. I think I started halfway through 2017, but I would say this is my third full year of doing Happy memory keeping. So I've been using the same app since then. It is an Android app, so you might have to find something comparable for an iPhone. However, I know there's lots of apps out there. There are other apps that I have used. I just find this one the easiest for me, and it's the quickest. Some other ones, when I print my pictures, they don't print the way that I want them to. So this is the app that I found that has printed the pictures that I send to Costco the way that I want them. So let's get started, and I'm going to jump into my little phone tutorial here so that way you can see exactly how I print them. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to open my Photogrid app, and I am in already the folder in here that I'll use. I also have my gallery up so I can look at dates because I can't see them from the Photogrid, just because I mostly forget what date some pictures were taken. So right now I'm making my 5x7 page. So with that I pick 12 photos that I can fit, and this is what I use in order to get pictures for my puncher that I use for my monthly in my memory planner. So I'm just going to go through and pick 12 different pictures. I try and at least have one or two of each day, depending on if I took, and then sometimes I'll just do filler because I have to put 12 photos in there regardless. So most of the time I don't use some of them, but it's mainly just to fill up the space of a 5x7, so that way they are the right size. So once I get 12 of those in here, then I'll just click the next button. And then it'll take me to this. So at the bottom right hand corner there's always their little watermark. If you just click on it and then click the no sign, you can get rid of it. Then I will change my ratio size to a 5x7, or unless this it was 7x5, but I will just change that, and then I'll go through and just center pictures, and just make sure, like, if I were to go through with my punch, I would actually be able to like get that picture in there, or most of the picture. So I just kind of have to go through and play with sizing it right, so they fit good for when I punch them out. And then once I'm done with that, that is all I need to do. I click next and save, and then that is done. So it's super easy for the 5x7s. It doesn't require anything, and then I just go, I click the back button, and then I just clear the pictures. This week I actually took all my Fitbit. I might do something with these, so I did all my Fitbits, so I got all those, and I only have 7 because there's 7 days in the week, so I need to just go in and add 4 more photos, just to fill in 5 more photos. I can't math at all, just to fill in that space. Again, because I need 12 photos to get them to be that square shape. So I just go in. I kind of tried to like mess around. I wasn't thinking, but I was just kind of playing around with where they were, But on here, it's really easy. You click a photo. If you want to switch where a photo is, you can just click on a photo and it'll give you the option to swap. And then you'll just click the photo that you want to swap it with. And you can move around photos. So if you want to just keep, you know, your boxes as is, like you're not planning to punch them out, this is just a good tool. So that way you don't necessarily have to pick them in the order you want them in. You could always just go in and change them later. But I thought I could kind of make it easier and alternate them, but then I realized I wasn't even doing it right and gave up. But anyway, that's all I really needed to do. I just had to make sure I pulled down some of the pictures so they weren't super cut off. Again, all these other extra pictures that aren't of my Fitbit, I just put in just to have them help me make the 12, the 3x4. And then once I'm done with that, again, click next and then save and then done. And then I usually go back. I think I pushed a wrong button this time. Yeah, I accidentally went all the way back to the beginning. But this time now I'm going to do my 4x6s. So now I just need to pick 4 photos. And doing 4 makes them the perfect size for a big happy planner. I mean, they're a tiny bit short, but for the most part, if you just use washi, it helps them fit great. So I have to change the ratio for these manually because for some reason this app doesn't already have a 4x6, which I think is really dumb. But I'm glad that they have the custom so I can just make whatever size I want. I'll do that. I'll take off the little watermark and then just resize my pictures how I want them to print. And then that is it. Click next and save. And that's literally all I do. Now it is really important with this that I just click the back button and then just clear it manually because it'll save. I won't have to keep doing that ratio 4x6 every single time. If I click completely out of it, I'll have to redo the 4x6, but it's already saved in there. I just have to click it and then click OK, remove the watermark, and then adjust my pictures. So really easy. I do know in the past I've shared that. I think I shared how I do this like maybe a year ago on my Instagram, and I remember then at some point people weren't seeing the custom. I've never had a problem with that. My app has updated several times for giving me the custom option to make a 4x6, so I don't really know if it's on phone type or just because I've had it for a couple years. I've had it for about 3 years now. So I have tried other apps. I do have a few other apps that I could show you how to do it. I think they're harder processes than this one is. So if you can get this app, I definitely recommend this one because I think out of all the ones I've tried, this one's the easiest and it is consistent when I print my pictures. I found other apps didn't help me. Like they printed weird, or they printed with like a weird border that I couldn't get away from, so then they were too small. So I don't know, but if there's a request for me to try on another app, I do have another app. I can't remember what it's called right now. I'll put it in the description below. But I can definitely do it with that one as well because I do still have it. This one's the easiest for me to use, so this is the one I always go to. And I do like it because I mean, every app does, but this one I can easily flip to a different folder to pull pictures from. Like I realized these pictures I forgot to put in my printing, my like to print folder. So I just added those real quick and then that is it. So I think that's all for just regular 4x6s. So you can make boxes that fit 2 boxes for the big happy planner, and with that you just have to pick less pictures to fit in a 4x6. So here I'm picking one picture that I know can definitely stay sideways, and that's like, these are great for landscape photos. I try to take all my photos in vertical just because I know I need them that way for my big happy planner, but there are some that I'm like, this one would be fun as a landscape. So by doing that, I'll just get this, so obviously it's wrong, but I need to do my ratio first and fix it to be 4:6. So now I have to change the layout. It has the option to do the pictures on top of each other, and then that bottom one is technically vertical, but it works in this instance. And then I just kind of make sure, and it's already centered, so I don't have to worry about anything else with that. And then if you don't have, you know, 2 pictures that you want in landscape, you can pick 3 photos, which will give you 1 landscape and can give you 2 verticals. So same thing, changing the ratio to 4:6, and then I just have to take off the watermark, change my layout, and just get that, and then I need to just center it as best as I can. It doesn't center it for me, but other than that, that is it, and then I just have to save it and get my pictures uploaded to Costco, and that is all I need to do. Okay, so I have my Costco photo center pulled up, and I just need to change the date. So I usually just always do the week that I'm printing out. So January 13th, and then to the 19th. Then I'll just go in. It's usually in my most recent because I do this right after I make my pictures, and then just select all of the pictures, and then I start the upload. Okay, so once they're finished uploading, it'll take me to a new page, and it'll show all my pictures, and then I just scroll down and check all of them because sometimes it doesn't always upload correctly, so I just like to check, and then I click order entire album because everything in that specific album. So I have 5:7s in here, so it's showing that the 4:6 won't fit for the ones that I made 5:7. So I just have to go through and take off the 4:6 and then change it to one 5:7, and then there are no problems. And all my 4:6s should be fine because they are all 4:6s. And then it shows how much I'll be paying. So it's $237, but the tax isn't in there yet. On average, I usually spend about $10 a month getting my pictures, which isn't bad, and most of the time it's less because I usually don't do this many pictures. I'm going to take this one off because I just did that one as an example, and I didn't need it, so let's take off one of these. And so that brought my total, so it'll probably be about $250 with tax in there. So anyway, I'm gonna go to check out. After this, I go to the warehouse pickup, and that's what I will click. I'll choose the soonest available time that it gives me. Usually I'll just keep an eye out on my email for when I get an email that says in production, which usually means my pictures are ready. So around that time I'll go in, and most of the time it's sooner than my actual pickup time. Okay, and I just click place order. I get my confirmation number, and now I just wait for the email for when my pictures are in production to be picked up, and that is it. Okay, so here are my pictures all printed out. Usually Costco comes with like what was in your order and then some random. I'm going to try and do this so they're not glaring too bad, but here's the pictures that I printed. So these are the ones that are going to fit 2 boxes, and then these ones are the ones that will fit in the just like a single box. So those are those, and then here are the squares that will fit in my monthly. See here in my monthly. So if you see, they're a little bit smaller than the actual box itself, which is fine. It works perfectly for my punch, which I have right here. So this works. These are a perfect size I found to do my punches. See if we can get in there so you can see I can like get most of the picture or the part of the picture that I do want, and then I can just go in and put these in. I did want to check though, because I haven't checked it. I have my classic size happy planner here, and let's see, I don't have anything, and these are close to classic size, so you could probably use this same method, and even like the circles themselves would fit into a classic size It might cover the number a little bit, but for the most part, it seems like they'll fit. The boxes are just like a tiny bit, like the smallest bit bigger than a classic box. But so if you were using a classic for memory keeping, you could still do this method, 5x7 with 12 photos on it, and be able to fit them into your planner. So yeah, so I'll just go through with these, and because I'm thinking about putting these ones, actually my Fitbit ones that I got printed out, I'm thinking of just cutting out the square and sticking them in my classic planner. So I'll probably just trim the parts of them down that I don't need, and stick those in there. But works really great. So I'll just go through and punch these, and they all fit really well. Real quick, I'll show you though. So how we printed these. So with these, with cutting them, let me just get a quick cut on here. Usually I trim off a little bit because they are just like the smallest bit wide. And you probably could figure out on the app how to, if you did like a border around the edge of your picture, they might, and then you cut off just like the borders. That would probably work too. I'm just honestly too lazy to do that. And this is just easier for me. So I'm just gonna cut these out real quick. Okay, so I have my picture. Sorry, it's gonna glare with the light, but you get the gist. So there is a tiny, tiny bit of space between the top and bottom, but I mean, most of the stickers for the big are a little bit like that, because there are certain happy planners that either have a thicker header, which that's these lines here, a header for each box. There are some planners that have thicker headers, some that have thinner. I know I have the big box punch that punches out boxes, and they're about the same size, and it's the same kind of thing. It's just because some planners have a bigger header. So I think they decided to go with small, because you can always cover it with some washi. Which I use this size. I think it's smaller than 5 millimeter. I'm not 100% sure what size this is. But it's just skinny washi. So I usually use that to kind of take care of that space, especially at the top. So I'll usually just go in with this, and that usually solves my problem. So that's that size. And then I also had printed out my half size, which is the ones that will fit 2 boxes. So they do print a little bit big. Again, if you can figure out how to put a border around, which you can, that app does have an option to put a border all the way around if you want to. I feel like it'd be trial and error of knowing exactly how much you need to do each time, and I'd rather just go in and trim it and be done. But I just have to do like a tiny little bit of trim, and then that is it. Super easy. Not too bad. And then again, it still does have that header space that I have to fill in, but again, I'm used to it. And I don't always, you can stick them anywhere, but this is just enough to fit 2 boxes. And then again, I go through and I print all my pictures generally, besides like this one. I kind of have pictures of like my planner. These ones I really only include on my monthly, so I don't print them in these sizes or in this size. So usually I don't print those, but most of the time I'll just print every picture that I have, so that way I can kind of decide once I start planning what pictures I want to use. And then, but you could go through, if you know exactly what pictures, if you're a planner ahead, like that kind of way. I think with memory planning, I just like to see it all laid out and see what I can fit. You can actually just plan out what pictures you want to print out and then only print those and save costs that way. But I also like to use whatever pictures I have left over that don't fit in my spread. I save them to do my favorite memories page. So that is it. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you all later. Bye!